Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into the world of TikTok skincare. We'll be going through a bunch of articles you guys sent over about the latest trends, the science behind them, and how they could be affecting our skin, maybe even our mental health. And a huge thank you to our sponsor, topnaturalhealth.com. If you're looking for some, natural ways to boost your wellness routine, head over to their website. You can find the link in our show notes. Okay, so TikTok skincare. It's inescapable these days, right? It's like suddenly everyone's a skincare guru, posting their routines and holy grail products.
Yeah, it's really interesting how TikTok has made skincare information so much more accessible. Like, think about it. It wasn't that long ago when you had to rely on those expensive magazines or shell out for a dermatologist appointment just to figure out what your skin needed. Now it's all right there in the palm of your hand. Which is incredible for, making skincare less exclusive.
Totally. No more gatekeepers. Everyone gets to be a part of the conversation. But honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm wading through a minefield of misinformation. It's tough to know what's legit and what's, BS.
Absolutely. And that's where the whole algorithm thing comes into play. TikTok's designed to keep us scrolling, keep us hooked. And unfortunately, that often means prioritizing those attention-grabbing posts, even if they're not entirely accurate.
So while you might stumble across some helpful tips here and there, you're also being hit with a ton of exaggerated claims and promises of quick fixes, which, let's be real, are usually misleading and could even be harmful. It's like that skin cycling trend that's everywhere now. On the surface, it makes sense. You alternate those strong ingredients to avoid irritating your skin. But the articles we dug into for today's deep dive, they really question whether that's the best approach for everyone.
Right, and that's a crucial point. Just because something works for one person doesn't mean it'll work for everyone. Skin cycling usually involves using pretty potent stuff like retinoids. Those are vitamin A derivatives. They help speed up cell turnover. And then you've got your exfoliants, which get rid of dead skin cells. Now, while those ingredients can be really effective, they can also lead to irritation and dryness, especially if they're not used correctly or if you have sensitive skin.
And I'm guessing the TikTok algorithm isn't exactly promoting those cautionary tales.
Not really, no. It's much more likely to boost videos with those dramatic before and afters, or ones that claim miracle results, even if those results are, shall we say, enhanced with filters and editing magic. At the end of the day, it's all about engagement.
Which, yeah, makes sense from a business perspective, but it's kind of unsettling when you really stop and think about it. It's almost like, we're being trained to spot flaws we wouldn't even have noticed before.
Exactly, and that's where things get a little dangerous, The more we buy into these unrealistic standards of beauty, the more likely we are to do things that could actually harm our skin. Like maybe we start overusing products or obsessing over every little imperfection, or even, considering cosmetic procedures that we don't really need.
Yeah, it's like everyone's chasing after this filtered, airbrushed version of themselves, and the pressure's even worse when you think about those Skinfluencers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got these personalities. They're often really charismatic. They build these huge followings, but their advice, well, it's not always coming from a place of real expertise.
Right, and the articles we're looking at today, they had some pretty scary examples of that. Like there were Skinfluencers actually recommending at-home chemical peels, which, that can go really wrong if you don't know what you're doing.
No kidding. Those kinds of procedures, things like chemical peels, micro-needling, where they use tiny needles to create micro-injuries in the skin, that stuff should only be done by a trained professional. It's not a DIY project.
So are we doomed then? Is there anything good about TikTok skincare, or is it all just hype and potential disasters?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And luckily, no, it's not all bad. There are some genuinely positive sides to the TikTok skincare world. There are even a few trends that some dermatologists are cautiously optimistic about.
Okay, tell me more. Give me some hope here.
All right, so one example is slugging. Oh, you heard of that one. Basically, you put a thin layer of petroleum jelly on your skin before bed.
I have heard of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I always thought that would just clog your pores and make you break out.
Yeah, that's a common misconception. And while slugging's definitely not for everyone, especially not if you're prone to acne, it can be amazing for people with dry or dehydrated skin. It helps lock in that moisture.
So it all comes down to knowing your skin type, figuring out what actually works for you instead of just blindly following every trend.
100%.
Yeah.
And that leads us to another trend that can be beneficial if it's done right. Skin cycling. It's basically alternating between different active ingredients in your routine. So, like your retinoids, your exfoliants. And then you build in some rest days to let your skin recover.
That sounds a lot more balanced.
Yeah, it can be. Giving your skin a break from those strong ingredients on certain days, it definitely reduces the risk of irritation and dryness. But again, it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Starting slow and paying attention to how your skin reacts is key.
It's kind of reassuring to hear that not everything coming out of TikTok skincare is, like, destined to ruin our skin. But still, with so much information out there, so much of it conflicting, it can feel kind of overwhelming, you know? Like, where do you even start?
Totally. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, feel like you have to try every single trend, buy every product, but honestly, taking care of your skin, it's simpler than all that.
Less is more.
Exactly. It's about having a routine, a consistent one, and focusing on those fundamental steps. Cleansing, moisturizing, sunscreen every day, like those are your non-negotiables.
And I imagine talking to a dermatologist is never a bad idea, especially if you've got, specific concerns you want to address.
100%. A dermatologist can really help you figure out a personalized plan based on your skin type, any issues you're dealing with, your medical history, all of that. Plus, they can help you sift through all the noise, all the trends and product claims, and figure out what's actually legit.
So if we had to, sum it all up, what's the best way to navigate this whole TikTok skincare world without, losing our minds or damaging our skin in the process?
Be a savvy consumer. That's key. Don't buy into every miracle claim you see.
Yeah.
Be wary of those before and afters that seem too good to be true. Remember, healthy skin, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And what works for one person might not work for another.
And maybe put down the turmeric mask and step away from that DIY chemical peel kit.
Couldn't agree more. Focus on those basics. Listen to your skin. It'll tell you what it needs. And if you're ever unsure, talk to a professional. You've got this.
Love it. Well, that's been our deep dive into the wild world of TikTok skincare. We explored the good, the bad, and the potentially face-melting, and hopefully you've come away with some solid info to help you navigate it all safely and effectively. A huge thank you to our sponsor, topnaturalhealth.com. Check out their website, the links in our show notes for natural supplements, skincare, all that good stuff. And to our listeners, remember, healthy skin starts from within, right? Embrace what makes you unique and don't let social media pressure you into feeling like you're not enough. Until next time, stay curious and take care.
Bye, everyone.